God bless everybody. God bless everybody. This is Elder Miller, aka Mr. Miller, and this is Dirty Church Radio, Unrestricted Conversations. It's a Friday night pop up. Just give us a few minutes here. We'll be right with you. Thank you for tuning in. Whoever will watch this live and whoever will check it out on the repost later on. But I pray everybody is doing okay out there today. That everybody is good. Everybody is well. And we are just so happy about all those type of things that are taking place. Just give me 1 second here. Waiting for a few of my brethren. My brother here, Pastor Sherman Boone Jr. is with us here in the building.
What up, fam? What up, fam? Give you a couple minutes, you know what I'm saying? Give me a couple minutes, get situated right quick.
Okay. I'll give you a few minutes, man. Feel good to be back on here, Dirty Church Radio. Quick pop-up tonight. Well, listen, we are here, Dirty Church Radio, Unrestricted Conversations, and we are live here. We thank everyone for tuning in. Looking forward to having quick little discussion here with the brethren, waiting for Brother Keys to pop in on here. But tonight, as you can see it, we're back. Dirty Church Radio, Unrestricted Conversations. We thank God for, keeping us, for giving us strength and covering us with his blood and protecting us and protecting our families and, just those simple things, man, that we refuse to overlook. Shelter, clothes, food, the necessities that we need, man, in this life. We thank God for providing it. Thanking him for keeping us healthy, being able to move and do what we need to do for our families as fathers. And, we here and, we're expecting some great things and looking forward to what's next. And I know some of you out there, I know you've probably been in a place where you're wondering, what's next? Where do we go from here? And I think that's a question that all of us probably have. We all been thinking about what next is, what does next look like? What possibly could that be? And it's good to have questions. It's good to have questions because you don't get no answers without questions. So I think right now is a good place for us to, really go on a journey about what next is and what is your next. What is for you? What are the things for you? What are you going after? What are the things that are taking place in your life that you are willing to go after, even if fear is staring you right in your face? Opposition is looking right at you with the mean face and telling you you can't do it. because they failed. You can't do it. I dare you to do it. Don't you know right now there is an opposition that is standing in front of you, and it knows that there's great opportunity for you. There's great doors, and not just doors, but there are great gates that are waiting to open up for you. But it's standing there and it's looking at you and it's saying, Pastor Sherman Boone, I dare you to leap. I dare you to jump. I dare you. You ain't got the guts to do it. You ain't got it. Cause you know what? I know that you seen someone else fail. I know that you seen it didn't work for someone else. Matter of fact, you tried something before and it didn't work. So what makes you think it's going to work this time? So that very thing, it makes us become prisoners of a feeling of what we've seen or what we've experienced, and we become stuck. And that's where we get tonight's topic of discussion. Tonight we are dealing with Pastor Sherman Boone Jr. tonight, my brother, here on Dirty Church Radio, Unrestricted Conversations. Procrastination, the relentless serial killer. Procrastination, the relentless serial killer. I'm going to tell you right now, the fact that me and you are even here right now on Dirty Church Radio, and we arrived to this moment, my brother. We arrived to this moment on this day through procrastination. We've went down different avenues of procrastination, hesitating, delaying, putting off different things based upon how we feel or based upon what happened, memories, dreams, all types of excuses. And we know what excuses get us. It gets us nothing. So we get to a point where we start accomplishing little things, right? But we've been procrastinating so long, we even procrastinate even once we get the victory of something. Because now we even delay and get stuck and immobilized even in our victories. Because we get stuck in the moment of winning when this thing doesn't stop there. We got to keep moving on and on and on and on. I'm going to tell you like this, bro. If you let procrastination breathe for a second in your life, it may take up a year of your life. Just a second.
Never lie, bro.
Just 1 second. And the thing I realize about procrastination, my brother, is that it doesn't matter whether it operates a small amount of your life or a huge amount of your life. All it wants is a part of your life. So it's satisfied even if you give it something small or if you give it something big. But best believe, when procrastination is alive and being a being in your life, you will see the results of procrastination. I'm telling you right now, if you look at your bank account, if you look at where you're at in life right now, whether in ministry, whether even in your marriage, as a father, at your job, in business, I don't care who you are. You have encountered some level of procrastination. Even if you came home today and you threw your shirt on the floor, or you threw your socks on the floor and you said, you know what, I'm going to get it tomorrow. You know what, tomorrow comes, I'll get it the next day. Or you know what, my wife will get it, or my children will get it. That is procrastination. And tonight, we come on here tonight, Pastor Sherman Boone Jr., to announce that we are at war against procrastination. Because even the grave itself is full of moments of life of procrastination. Like we always say, books that were never written, songs that were never sung, movie scripts that were never acted upon, all these different things, messages that was never preached, gifts that was never in operation because we procrastinated on the moments and the destiny of our life. We've let people, and listen, tonight is a night where we're not pointing the finger at no one. Tonight's finger is at yourself. Tonight, we're blaming us for every moment of procrastination, even if someone else, how we looked, or we looked at other people, and we let people make us become stuck because we're worrying about what people are going to say and how they're going to feel. So we put off things because of other people's emotions and feelings. But guess what? We wind up living in a prison of procrastination. And procrastination is a relentless serial killer. It wants to kill your dreams. It wants to kill your future. It wants to kill your whole bloodline and keep us stuck, never reaching the promise and the intended life that God wants us to live under the sun. Before we even leave here, before we take our last breath. And tonight, bro, we are at war. Right now, I can think about moments in my life right now that I procrastinated on, and just the very thought of it makes me sick to my stomach. Because you're stuck in a revolving door, which leads to guilt, it leads to regret, and then it ultimately leads to depression. And now you're stuck in that cycle, thinking of what you could have done, what you should have done, and you wind up never doing nothing at all. Stuck in the same place over and over and over. Some of us should have already made different moves in our life. We should have shifted, and we should have grown other areas of our life, but we've allowed the emotions of ourselves and other people's perception of us keep us limited. We've been limited by procrastination. Some of us, we could have had our own businesses. Some of us right now, we should have already been millionaires based upon the ideas that God gives us, the dreams that we have, the things that we even refuse to write down because we done forgot it now. So now there were great things that would have made a great opportunity for you and your family, but you never wrote it down. So now you don't even remember what it was because you didn't act upon it in the moment that you were supposed to act upon it. So now you're in that revolving door, and we're back to square one. We're even here tonight fighting against procrastination. It's September 2nd, 2022. We're here on a Friday night. It's the second day of the 9th month. And I believe we have entered even into another dispensation with this month. It's the beginning of something for us. It's a birthing of something from us. So how do we move, and what are you willing to do from this moment on within this year to go after everything that you know that's inside of you to go after, and don't allow you or anyone or anything or any place get in the way of that? Tonight, my question is, will you kill procrastination tonight in your life? I say it has to die. I just want to know, do you agree with me?
I'm be honest, brother. I think one thing we got to realize that procrastination is still the gift of now. Because it gives you the illusion that okay, tomorrow is promised, and tomorrow isn't. Like the Bible says, take no thought of tomorrow because you don't know what will happen tomorrow. But say if the Lord will, like but I would do this and that, because the reality is the greatest gift you have is only now. Because you can't go back in your past. You can't go back. You can't steal from the future. But you rob yourself of the potential when you don't activate in like the moment of now.
Wow.
Like if you don't operate in the moment of now, like yo, like I just finished a big project that I've been working on for the better part of like maybe like 10 years. And granted, it's done and it's in the finishing phases of it being produced, but the creative process is done of it. The creative process is done. But like I've robbed myself of opportunity of certain people I wish would be here to share that moment with me that aren't here. So now I have produced and I'm in the process of finalizing everything where I have a finished product in my hand, but I robbed myself of the opportunity of hearing that voice that I want to hear.
Yeah.
Say you did good. Like I'm proud of you. I see that.
Yeah.
So procrastination robs you of the potential joy you could have in the future. That you may get there, but it's not going to be on the fullness of the level that it possibly could have been if you'd have got there sooner. And I think a lot. I think a lot of times, man. I think a lot of times, bro, man. We allow our circumstances to cause us to get stuck and not move forward. Especially when like, one of the greatest lies that the devil put us in, thinking that we're the only one going through stuff. When people have been forced to produce under greater stress than what we can ever even imagine, but yet they still produced. Like Jesus didn't put the cross off to next year. You know what, man? No, man. God, this cross is already bear. Take the Calvary, put another year off. No, but he understood that the season and the time had come for him to fulfill the purpose for which he was created for. And procrastination is the greatest enemy to purpose.
Yes.
But what procrastination does, it delays the manifestation of purpose, and therefore, at times, put people who could, at the right time, receive what's purpose in you, and be saved, and be delivered, or be encouraged. You rob them of that moment. Because we have to understand it's like for real, God's plan is like a continuum. Everything's connected to each other. So there's something he's telling you to do today that's connected to tomorrow. But if you don't do what he instructed you to do today, tomorrow don't even matter. Because you gotta go back and do what he told you to do that day in that moment in order for it to all connect.
Yes.
Like, for example, man, what if I got my degree when I first got out of high school?
Yeah.
Where would I be now? Where would you be if you got your CDLs the first time you thought about it? Where would you be now?
That question right there, it's so powerful, right? Because you mentioned something about like when you wrote your book, and if you would have did it when you first done it, there would have been people here that would have been able to share it with you. So like, even though you finished it, it's a great feeling, but it's still not the full potential of what it would have been if you would have reacted the first time. It's just like me. When me and my wife, we became homeowners, and we got the house, you know what I mean? And it's a blessing, you know what I mean? Children got happy. It's a great thing. But would have been even better if I would have made decisions because I got a lot of moments of procrastination. If I would have responded and acted earlier, right? I believe my mother would have been able to walk through a house that I brought, and she could have seen that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But procrastination delays that. It robs you. So even though you get the victory, even there's still a casualty of emotions within yourself when you think about it, because I think I've arrived to that moment, but the real trophy, the real victory of this would have been if I would have moved when I should have moved. Because God is a detailed God, and there are things that God told me to do, things that God told me to move in areas and things, and moments of laziness, moments of fear, moments of doubt. All of these things feed procrastination and give it its strength. It gives it a certain level of might in your life. And the thing about it, though, we think about those things, which is true. We think about those things. Hold on, let me add keys here. We think about those things which are true, right? But at the end of the day, we still have to keep pushing, because even if you think about what could have been too long, it immediately turns into procrastination all over again.
It creates a pity party. Because what happens is what happens is you have usually like, man, I wish so and so. No. And it's funny you said that because while you were talking, what came to my mind is like, okay, sometimes in God's sovereignty, like He allows us to learn lessons that motivate future action. So the next time around, because I know the collateral damage of procrastination, I won't procrastinate again on the next venture. Like the next venture will move with a more like steady, like assertive, steady pace, and not start. Don't start again for another 3-4 months. Stop. All that herky jerky stuff, man. Like ever get in the car with somebody and they driving and they don't know where they're going, and be stopping all abrupt, trying to get like, yo, you cause accidents when you're not going with the flow of traffic. And God's plan for your life has a flow to it. If you keep stopping and starting, like, yo, man, like you can cause an accident for somebody else who may be following you or on the lanes aside you, who are depending on you to stay in your lane and do your flow. Like there's people that's really dependent upon your flow.
I remember a long time ago, bro, you said something. Hopefully you can remember when you said this, and correct me if I'm saying it right. But you said sometimes and I'm talking to Boone, you said sometimes you were afraid to get the victory in the situation because now after you get that, now you're required to operate on that level. So you be afraid of the consistency. Can I be consistency on this level when I win in this situation? Because now that's the level that I just won on. Can I continue to operate on that level? And a lot of times we let fear of failure after winning set in, and that makes us procrastinate all over again. Because we fall back and we don't think we can deliver again the way we just delivered. So we'll rather just fall back and enjoy the victory that we just won versus keep pushing forward beyond that and dealing with that whole feeling all over again. So we'll settle for procrastination. We'll settle for complacency. We'll settle to go back in our shell, back in our cave, and not deal with it because we're afraid of the better version of ourselves that we can become if we become consistent. We're afraid of that.
Of the better you.
The pressure of the moment. It's almost like you're required to hit the winning shot. Can you imagine required to hit the winning shot every time? And you choose not to take the shot of fear of missing the shot. And that's what keeps us in procrastination so much. Afraid to take that shot because of how, if we fail, how people going to look at us, how we going to look at ourselves. And we get stuck in that revolving door, in that circle. You know what I mean? But we got Keys on here with us. You know what I mean? Mr. DA himself. Welcome back here on Dirty Church Radio, my brother.
How you
doing, man?
Doing amazing. Yeah, it was good what y'all was saying. I like it. But if I can interject, I have two points of views when it comes to procrastination. Number one, procrastination definitely can be related to the Grim Reaper. 100%. You know what I'm saying? It definitely can allow you to kill things in your future, basically.
Yes.
But depending on who you are and depending on how much you know yourself, you can use procrastination as a tool. A lot of people who are smart and they basically know how to use a lot of their faults to their benefit. For instance, let's say back in the day, we were, like when there was no civilization and we just lived in the woods hunting stuff and killing stuff with our hands, right? Well, if I'm behind a bush and something else is behind this other bush, but I don't necessarily know what it is. If I procrastinate and wait to find out what's behind that bush, not usually I won't get killed. But if I jump out there all of a sudden without thinking, just head first, because I just want to kill whatever's out there, not knowing, you know what I'm saying, what it truly is, it can kill me. So I think sometimes if we know how to use certain disadvantages in our life for positive benefit, I think it can be useful. But a lot of times we don't necessarily know how to use that, and we do use procrastination as something negative, and it allows it to be the Grim Reaper, I think, in our lives. If that makes sense.
When I look at that, though, I'm gonna let you. I just want to say this one thing too. When I think about like a general that's strategically mapping out his war plan, I think more so in his mind, when he's mapping it out in his mind, he most likely wouldn't be thinking more so like, let me procrastinate in this situation, how to deal with this. I think it's more so about, he would probably use words like timing, so I can hit a target at a certain moment. So like we're timing, like if they're going to be in this situation by 3 o'clock, let me not run ahead of schedule. Let me try to get as close to the point of the right timing so I can be accurate in my attack. Now, procrastination, a general who doesn't even strategize or doesn't even come up with a plan, or he's scared and he has coward tendencies, whatever, or being afraid to die in war, could make you procrastinate on fighting in war, situations like that. But I think if you were hiding in a bush, what I'm trying to say for us, even in living in 2022, whatever bush we're hiding in, let it be purposeful, that bush doesn't remain our home. It doesn't
100%.
remain
My
a
question to
permanent
you
place
is,
to you.
does procrastination always mean, or is it always attached to something negative? Or can it be you just not moving forward because of something that you're allowing not to let? For instance, like I said, if fear is attached to procrastination, sometimes can't fear be good?
No, fear is good. If that truck is coming, don't just walk out there and get hit by the truck. Look at them lights.
Right. Right.
But
You better
use
be
that
like,
common sense. Like, don't. But it's an order to crossing the street, though, isn't it? Like, isn't
Yes.
there an
Right.
order and a timing to crossing the street? So I think that's even in life and whatever decisions that we make or do, there's an order of timing to it. But procrastination, go ahead.
But check this out. If sometimes the wait is necessary. Sometimes me being afraid to do something was necessary at the time, because when I look back and I say to myself, wow, yo, if I would have did it right then and there, I probably would not have either. I'm quite sure people have said this. I know I have, but I might not have been ready to actually handle that kind of responsibility. So my fear, but I could have been right. I could have, at that moment in my life, could have been totally right, and my fear could have prevented me from making a bigger mistake. I'm not saying in all cases, but can't that be possibly a scenario?
It reads semantics. Like, for example, say if I kill someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be murder or self-defense.
Yeah.
It can be murder or self-defense, depending on the scenario situation. Like, if somebody coming against me, they attack me, and I kill them, that's self-defense. But I just kill somebody for the sake of like my own selfish, myself out of anger or my own selfish reasons, then it's murder. You know what I'm saying? It really depends on the scenario situation. Like, for example, like you brought in like waiting to make a move based upon the situation that you see. You know what I'm saying? That's wisdom. But if I'm waiting to make a move and God said, okay, man, make that move, or you get the unction within yourself, like, I gotta make this move, but you're trapped by fear of anything, situation that really is a small thing in your mind that you build up in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Against yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's procrastination. Or you're being lazy and saying, I'm putting it off to tomorrow and I ain't doing it right now. I'm focused on other stuff. Then guess what? That's not being wise or being cunning. That's being lazy, being slothful. Therefore, procrastination. So it really depends on the semantics of the situation.
That's why I asked: is procrastination only related to negative indication?
I
Like,
would say yes. I would say yes. I gotta say yes.
Did you read the definition?
I got no.
I want to say this right quick. All your flaws are really a perverted tool. Every flaw you have in your life is really a perverted tool that can go negative or positive, differ from the like for man. If you have ego, every man is born with ego.
Yes.
Now you need a certain level of ego to be confident.
That's what I'm talking about.
To be strong in your spot and hold it down. But too much ego becomes toxic, where you don't see nobody else's value but your own. So it really so your flaws, even procrastination, is really a perversion of the wisdom of waiting. When you wait too long, then you're procrastinating. With the motive why you wait.
I like this meaning right here. I gotta say this right here. This is one that I like. It says patience involves celebrating the task you have done while waiting for the seed you have planted to grow. While procrastination involves avoiding what you know needs to be done. When you know it needs to be done. And whatever that thing is in your life, avoiding it. Delaying it.
Number one, is that the only definition, or are there more definitions?
No, you can go on a journey. You can look up some other definitions, but the definition, the procrastination that has hindered me, like that has been the negative thing for my life, is when you avoid what needs to be done. When you delay what needs to be done based upon feelings of yourself, your perception of other people's feelings, fear, doubt, laziness, you know what I mean? The unwillingness to confront certain things. Like, it's so many aspects of that. Like, as a father, right? As a father, if our children need food and we do nothing about getting them food, we just sit around and say, you know what? I'm going to do that tomorrow. Or, you know what? Maybe so-and-so drop something by here, or maybe my wife would just get something, or maybe their grandma might bring something by. I'm gonna see. That's procrastination. That's you avoiding what you know needs to be done. It's avoiding responsibility. It's ignoring obligation. All of those type of things, man, and you wind up being stuck, going nowhere at all. You know what I mean? You wind up going nowhere.
I'm calling Dyfus. I'm calling Dyfus. You told me I ain't free my family. I'm calling Dyfus today.
But guess what? It's dudes who done got locked up, did time. Still won't work a job because they know that maybe it's gonna be taken out their check. So they still will ignore their responsibility or obligation as a father. And I'm just using that.
All right, question for you. Procrastination. You're basically saying that it is attached to the negative connotations of like being patient, opposed to just being patient because you put the work in. Basically, is what you were saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that's a spirit, or do you think that actually like it's just pure laziness? It's just something that you can change tomorrow, but you just don't want to? Or do you think it's something deeper than that? Do you think it's something like I said, it's something that, you know, fleshly we can't necessarily see or determine? It's something spiritual. It's like a demon per se. Would you attach that to that?
Demon. First of all,
Talk about it.
we give too much credit to, when it comes to stuff like that, we give too much credit to spirits and too much blame to God and too much blame on the devil. When actually, it's you. Like, you're the problem. Like, you're being lazy. Because when God created us, He created us as our own creative agency, which means we have the free will to choose to do whatever we want to do. And like, yo, that's really, like, slothfulness is a sin. That's a deadly sin. That's something you commit. Like, no one has, and the Bible says any man who sins is drawn by their own lust. Lust of what? Lust of being lazy. Lust of chilling, playing video games all day.
Okay, but hold on, pause right there. Pause right there. I totally understand where you're coming from, but my question still remains, like, how about those people who actually really believe that they suffer from something that can be proven by doctors to say, I am this way, I am stagnant this way because I have lack of certain things that typical people would have inside of them, but I don't necessarily have that, or how I grew up, whatever the case may be, just deeper than just someone being lazy. Could it be that?
Okay.
I'm gonna say this. I gotta say this right here. Procrastination, my point of view from it, procrastination is a being in itself. I think that it desires, and I said this earlier, it desires to live in your life, whether it has a small role in your life or a big role in your life. It just wants to be a part of your life. And
but is it a side effect? Is it a side effect of fear? Is it a side effect of all of these other feelings, or all of these other?
I think it's a side effect of decision and choice that you make.
But what if someone doesn't necessarily have the umption to change, to make that choice?
No, you're saying, what if
it's mentally hard for someone to make a choice? Are you saying that there are no? Are you saying
you're answering your own question? No. Check. I'm gonna say you kind of answered it, right?
Uh-huh.
Let me ask you this question: do you see procrastination every day?
Yes.
It's all around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
In many forms.
Yep.
Have you ever known someone? Have you ever been somewhere? Have you ever went to the hood, seen somebody on the corner 30 years ago, 20 years ago, went back and they were still in that same place?
Two types of people.
All right, two types of people, right?
One person mentally challenged, other person ain't going nowhere. They got babies still in the neighborhood, messing with the same girls. Yeah, uh-huh.
All right. So whether mentally challenged, I think all of us have been mentally challenged.
No, but I'm saying someone who actually is disabled and can be referred by a doctor as being disabled because they can't. For instance, okay, I have family members who suffer from certain mental illnesses, like manic depressant, bipolar.
Yeah.
And literally, me knowing these people, I know when they physically cannot do. No matter how much you try to encourage them, no matter how much you try to try, whatever you give them, medicine, what they just can't do. And yes, it is procrastinating because it affects them mentally. I mean, it affects them negatively, but it's nothing that they actually have the the power within themselves to do something about it. What do you say about those people?
But
Do they just need to be prayed for?
No, and I prayed for it. All right, first of all, you're talking about mental health issues. Which, to be honest, that really is a communal family, like, corral issue that the family comes around, and then when they know that their family member is struggling with that, like, and they're incapable of doing that, ideally the family comes together and corral and be a support system for that individual. That's one. I also would say this too. There's conditioned behavior and learned behavior, and there are actually really two different things. Like, learned behavior is what you learn by osmosis, by watching somebody else do. Like, if you raise up in a house and you see your dad sit on the couch, that's all you see your dad do, more than likely, there's a high probability that you may duplicate that same behavior growing up. And there's conditioned behavior where, like, your mom and dad may work, but they allow you to be lazy. They allow you to sit on the couch and do nothing. And don't give you no responsibilities, none of that stuff, take anything for you. Then you're conditioned to be that way. And then you have it your way, where someone called some, like, from a hormonal imbalance in the system, in your mind, or psychological, that you need medication for to help medicate. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many different aspects of what you're talking about being the case and true. And then you have the other one, where people just willingly be lazy. They have no excuse. They have no reason. They're not mentally disabled.
That's procrastination, is what you're saying? That right there is procrastinating.
That's my question right now.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. Would you say the ones that you say that are mentally challenged in your family or any other family?
Yeah, within my family.
All right, that they know, like, do they consciously know that they need to do this? Like, do they consciously know that? And they know, like, the whole definition of what that looks like of them doing it.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you this question. Mentally, you wouldn't say you're on the same level as them, would you?
In that sense, no, I'm not.
All right. But do you procrastinate like them?
Yeah, in some ways, I guess. Yeah, I would say in some ways.
All right. Why?
For all of the reasons: fear, laziness. Like, for all of the reasons what'd you call it?
But if we got our right mind, if we're in our right mind, why do we still do that?
And that's what Sherman was saying. He was saying, you have those people who are in their right mind and they're just lazy. There is no backstory to them being lazy. They're just being lazy just because.
Is it just laziness? Or that's just one? Or that's just one scenario? Like, would you say everybody that procrastinate is lazy?
Well, it depends on what the actual term of procrastinating means, but from part of my definition, yes.
Now, okay. Now, when you start going to laziness, you're really starting to go on, like, the why. Like procrastination is really a determination of, like, the act itself. The why is a whole different story, whole different conversation. Like you could be procrastinating because, like, you could be lazy, or you could be timid, or you could be like, low self-esteem of yourself, or you could be put somewhere because of fear. Like, that's the why.
But aren't all these things like spirits? Aren't all these things entities of what you're referring to?
Okay, there is a spirit of fear. Okay, the Bible said they have given the spirit of fear, but the power of love them. There is a spirit of fear, but laziness is a mental choice of like your character. That's not a spirit. That's your character.
We've all read Proverbs.
So fear is not a character. Fear is just a spirit.
Okay. There's spirit of fear. There's a spirit of fear, and then it's being fearful. Like, fearful is more of a situation where, like, how you view yourself influence how you approach the situation.
But wouldn't the spirit of fear make you fearful?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you're making no. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. Let me
No,
have business. All right.
no. I just
All right.
before we
If
go
we
there,
come
right?
from a
I gotta say this real
if we
quick.
come from
Does your religion, does you being in Christ, being a Christian or whatever, has your faith or what you do in church, or let me say it this way, has the grace that God gives you gave you a reason to procrastinate?
The grace that God has given.
That, man. We say grace, are we
What
referring
I'm
to
saying
what you
is
do in
because
church,
I know what
or
you're
the
saying.
grace you get from God?
no, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah. The manipulation of grace. The manipulation of grace. Yeah, how we view grace. Oh, God has grace to keep me for tomorrow, so I can sit there and do nothing because I have grace for tomorrow. Like, but yo, bro,
but we
I like that,
use
man. We use grace. And a matter of fact, and one of my boys I play ball with, he's an atheist. And one of the reasons he's an atheist is because he feels like, yo, church folk have used God as a scapegoat for their inaction.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. Use an idiot. That was good, though. That was good.
Yeah, he's cheated.
No, but because a lot of times people hide behind that, though. We do hide behind, like we hide,
grace.
And I'm not saying, but we do hide behind Jesus. Like we hide behind church and never confront the ugliness of who we are and deal with that. Be honest, like, because guess what? A lot of us, right? We attach a title to us because the surname of us don't do nothing for us. So we need to add something to us to make us feel better about who we are. You know what I mean? And we're flawed. You know what I mean? And it's easy to hide in church. Like I can't, and this ain't no knock on church, but we hide and never get a chance to deal with the realness. Let's be honest. Let's just say right now, you go to church and you procrastinate in your business, right? But you deal with like you have a pornography problem, or you have a drinking problem, or you do something that goes against the religion or the preference of what the people in that religion say is wrong, right? How do you get to the real you in the real issue when it's so easy to hide behind God forgave me? I repented, it's over. But we never get fixed. We just are fixed by the statement that we say, but never cut into the heart and get to the core of that poison that's within us, to the root of. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I get it.
But Jay, what you're really saying is what you're heading to is a very dangerous notion that procrastination is linked to rebellion. Because like if I know the right and wrong of a situation, but yet I put it off doing that which I know is right, then guess what? I'm really operating in rebellion, and I have and about the facade of I ask God for forgiveness, and ask God for forgiveness is not the main thing. It's about repenting, which means I'm turning away from that act. Never to do. I'm like it's a difference between I'm falling and I'm struggling. Because when I'm struggling, that means I'm trying not to do that thing.
Hold on 1 second.
If I keep falling and leaping in situations over and over again with under the guise that all I have to say, okay, God forgave me, and and I'll never go back and change the real problem or address the real issue, then I'm really operating in rebellion. And I really question whether or not, if you ever really had a relationship. To me personally, if I love my wife, I'm rich with my wife, and I cheat on my wife in an alternate universe, my wife's crazy. If I cheat on my wife in an alternate universe, and I come tell my wife, like, forgive me. But then I go back out there and cheat again. Like, they're like, what am I doing? Like, do I really love my wife? Why am I putting off ending that relationship with that side piece? Like, why I'm putting off in that relationship? Like, why I'm procrastinating deleting that phone number or say that person is over? No, I'm really rebellion. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to me, I really don't put. I put procrastination on the peripherals of rebellion, but how you describe right now, that's only more like somebody just want to do what they want to do and use grace as an excuse. You know what I'm saying? As a cover for what they really want to do.
No, but what I'm saying, like at the end of the day, like right now, when it comes to procrastination, how many times would you say you procrastinated against God this year?
I'm gonna tell you something. I just read something. It said procrastination is one of the 7 deadliest sins. Sloth.
Slothfulness.
Sloth.
Yes. The slothfulness. Yeah. Being slowful. Procrastination.
Word up. Y'all remember that movie? You remember the movie Seven?
Yep.
With Brad Pitt?
Just watched it recently.
And when he went into sloth, the cops, when they shined the flashlight on him, right? They thought he was dead because there was no movement. He was stuck. It didn't even look like he was breathing. It didn't even look, he looked like there was no signs of life in him. And when you look at that symbolically, that's what procrastination does. It robs you of like life itself.
No, it says that. That's exactly what it says. It says procrastination is the robbery of life itself.
Come on, bro. And the thing that's so powerful about that, right? When you think, and tonight we're talking about procrastination, right? The relentless serial killer. So it's constantly thirsting and craving to kill everything in you and about you. Not just you. It wants to pass on to your children and everything.
What is procrastination attracted to in you? Like, what is it seeing you like, that right there? I want that. Like,
hope.
You know what, man? That's too much.
No. Listen.
Listen. You got to read it down to me. Hope.
No. Listen. Let me tell you like this. The very fact that you are breathing and alive, meaning there is hope. That means there's a moment that you can change your mind. There's a moment that you can go into the way that's intended for you to go, or purpose, or you can wake up. So it's relentless because it never wants you to stand up. It never wants you to be able to make a decision. Just like Keys, he wrote a book. You wrote a book. But procrastination was with you both the whole time, standing over you, breathing over you. But you had to make a choice within that. And the only reason why you wrote the book, because there was hope inside of you. There was something in you, even in the midst of all of that feeling, that was surrounding you and drowning you and maybe suffocating you and making you feel lazy and tired and not wanting to do it. There was just a little breath of hope that made you be able to take a deep breath and wake up tomorrow, the next day, and do the same thing again and write some more. Wake up the next day and write a little more. Wake up the next day and write a little more. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
Yeah, I hear you. That and the deadline. And the deadline is that deadline. The person can't feel like you got to think about it in a month. But like,
it was the hope that you have within you for the deadline. Without the hope or the push for it, bro, you wouldn't have made no deadline.
Oh no.
You wouldn't have made no deadline. I'm telling you, man. And the thing about it, though. Go ahead.
So you're saying, what you're saying is, it's the misappropriation of hope that makes us prime targets of procrastination. Because what you're saying is, we always have hope that there is a tomorrow, that we can put off today to tomorrow and not do it right now. And we kick the can down the road.
Bro, everybody has a gift. Whether you discovered it, is laying dormant, or whatever. Everybody has something within them that's a level of greatness. Procrastination is like a leech. It likes to suck all of that out. It wants you to be comfortable in just existing without purpose. Procrastination wants to take your purpose away and make you lose focus. It's after focus. It's after purpose. It's after dreams. You know what I mean? It's after promises. Hope, like procrastination is after, if I tell my children I'm going to take them to the amusement park, right? And I promise them that gives procrastination an opportunity to make me become a liar, or make me like procrastination leads to so many things. It leads to them, their heart being hurt. It leads to them being disappointed. It leads to them not trusting what dad says. If we promise our wife stuff and we never do it, it leads to our wives not trusting our word. Like procrastination it's a road to complete destruction of who we are and what we possibly could be if we let it live in our life. You ever seen that movie? And I'm gonna let y'all go. You ever seen that movie? Jordan Peele made it. It was called Us.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie Us was an alternate version trying to move the original version out the way and live out their life. They wanted to replace them and live their life. You know what I mean? It wanted to replace. That's what procrastination wants to be. God may have an intended for Pastor Boone to be a powerful pastor who touches nations and he reaches many people. He helps people get up and stand up and realize who they are and go after it. But you know what? I'm going to attack him through procrastination. I'm going to make him miss appointments. I'm going to make him not show up when he should show up. I'm going to throw off his timing. I'm going to create a scenario about him through procrastination. When people think of his name, they like, yeah, okay, whatever. We'll believe it when we see it. Like it's a script writer. It wants to write a script out for you, and it wants you to continue to be an actor in its role and live out its purpose and destroy your purpose.
Question for you before we go. What kills procrastination? Or can procrastination be killed? What dampers procrastination?
You have to unlearn it, because procrastination is a learned behavior. You learn how to put stuff off. Like you learn how to put stuff off to tomorrow. So you gotta make sure, like, yo, you have to have a sense of, you have to replace procrastination with urgency. Like the urgency of now. Like live your day as if it's your last day. So whatever I need to do in this day, like let me make sure I get it done. And it should be, and to me, in my personal life, there's two things that had to be done all the time, every day, from this day forward.
So you're basically saying repetition is also a procrastination killer.
Repetition, not repetition, but also like organizing your day. Like write your stuff down, what you got to do, so you can check it off. Because a lot of times it leads to procrastination that you forget. Like you get so caught with everything else that you lose sight of the things that you really had to do and become absent-minded. So you go through a whole entire day and make it plain, and run with it. And run with it. So you got to write your stuff down. You got to organize your day.
We killed procrastination tonight by just coming on here on this Friday.
Fact.
With Dirty Church Radio. Because I could, like at first, right? It's a holiday weekend. Normally we do Dirty Church Radio on a Sunday if we do it, right? It's on a Sunday evening. But guess what? I think Key's going out of town or something, right? You going out of town for right? So you're going out of town. So The first thing was like, what we gonna do it next Sunday? You know how we kill procrastination? No, we're gonna do a pop-up this Friday.
Right.
Let's make it, and that's how we gotta start really moving in everything. Like, let's not put it off. Let's rearrange and bring it even closer to time. Let's move closer to it. And that's even possible, even with your next book. Maybe even with your next book, even in the book that's about to be out, right? But you go write another book. Let's say, even with that, tonight you went and you wrote a sentence and said, I started writing my next book. Just that sentence alone, you fought. You threw a grenade at procrastination.
So
just
doing
like that
is defeating procrastination.
Yeah,
That's what's doing it, man.
They doing.
Nike prophesied to us way back in the day. Just do it. Just do it. Just don't do it foolishly though. But when you got the plan and you got the thing that you're supposed to do it. Don't just do anything. Don't just walk outside and cross the street and cars coming and get hit by a car. Don't just go out on the top of your roof and jump off. No, do it intentionally, but do the very thing that you're meant to do, that you're supposed to do. Find that thing. And a lot of us get lost in even trying to find the thing that we're supposed to do. And that can make us procrastinate even longer, because now we're just stuck in searching and never getting to the point, never getting to that place. So my next question for Pastor Boone is, I just want to ask you this, bro. September, October, November, December. How you killing procrastination in your life the rest of this year? I know we're going to fight the rest alive as long as we alive, but what are you going to do how you going to finish this year? What does your war against procrastination look like?
My focus on finishing Saturday. I think a lot of times we think so far ahead, it paralyzes in the moment. Like,
true indeed.
Like, give us this day my daily bread. Like, what do I need to do today that will affect Sunday or Monday? Like, what phone call I gotta make today? What's my agenda for today? So he's stupid. He's stupid. What's my agenda today? So I'm not looking at no October, September. Not saying I don't plan. You always would have a plan, but your execution starts like today. Like, what am I doing tomorrow? Like, what are my plans for tomorrow? What self evaluation or introspective time I can take tomorrow to evaluate myself so I can be better tomorrow? Because I can't worry about Sunday.
I do want to say this though, even in playing chess. When you're playing chess, and everything you just said was definitely true. You know what I mean? But when you're playing chess, you play chess moves ahead, not just one move at a time. So, and a king who strategizes moves ahead, he always accounts that he can die in the process of the moves that he made. But just because the thought of death could be there, the move still has to be made. Because the moves that he made on that board, right, may not be just to protect him, it's to protect everything that's attached to him. So he might not see those moves, but if he don't make them, those moves can ultimately hurt who's connected to him if he don't make them. So if he just make the move per day, that means he's only that means he's only living for the day and not thinking about no one else. So when I say what does your fight against procrastination look like for the next 4 months of this year? I'm saying, what does it look like because your daughter's attached to you? What does it look like because your wife's attached to you? What does it look like? What, you know what I mean? From that end. And I know your Saturday move. I understand. I got you with that.
But if you're talking about that standpoint, then okay,
yeah,
what you do is this. What you do is this. Okay, you have how much we got? We got like what 3-4 months left in the year.
Yeah.
So you have your year-end goal. So
but
how
that final quarter? Yeah.
You have your year-end goal. So my question is, okay, what can I do? What can I do from month to month to move towards that year-end goal?
I have your answer. I have your definition of what you're basically trying to say. He's because it's the same thing I would say. You make very small, realistic goals, which amount to the bigger goal.
Right. Right.
But don't you still have a bigger goal in mind, though, right?
100%.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, you have a big goal in mind, because to be honest, I got big, like right now, I got goals that now is also attached to
different area codes.
Like, not different area codes. I'm talking about somebody else. That's stupid. No, but that's attached to like my wife's things. Because as a head of your house, your job is to create an atmosphere where everybody's dreams can come true, where everybody's aspirations can be fulfilled together. So I'm looking at it, okay, all right. My wife got something going on in December. So right now, what I do right now is to move in a way where not only does I get what I need to get done, my wife get what she need to get done. My daughter wants to start dance. I gotta make moves for her dancing. You know what I'm saying? All these things come into play. So, like, you're right. Like us as men, we carry the weight of everybody's dreams in the house.
Yeah.
Like we carry the weight of everybody. Like everybody's dream directly or indirectly affects us, either our pockets and our time. And so we gotta make moves based off that premise to make sure those things are done, and also deal with the emotional component of it all. Because what we do with, like, we all got wives and daughters that have feelings and emotions that we have to be aware of as men, to be not just physically protectors, but also sometimes emotional nurturers to them, to keep their emotional health in check. You know what I'm saying? So we deal with those things. Like, so my plan right now, man, is like, yo, I sit down and write stuff out, man. You know, have everything brought up in my head, but put it on paper so I can actually see it, so I know what I gotta do next to get where I want to be. That's my plan for the end of the year, man. Like, to end this year strong and more cohesive and better, and seeing the things see my wife business flourish better, see my daughter happier where she needs to be, and then seeing where I am going a whole different level, knowing that if I excel, if I get better, if I go greater, I automatically bring them with me.
Are you limited by the church system that you're in?
I'm about to say something else. I got saved last week, so I'm trying to say saved. No. Okay. Because to be honest, man, I'm not
talking about the church you belong to. I'm talking about the church system that you're in.
Okay. My limitation to the church system was really based upon loyalty to people who are no longer here. So now it's like, okay, now you have the freedom to really do you. Because certain things in the system, Jay, you know good and well, we already knew was broken. We already knew it was flawed. And not only that, but the people you were loyal to who's no longer here, they knew it was flawed. But now you're really able to, like, give people the rawness of what you already knew was there. Without having to deal with, like, having
so I have
to
a
deal
question
with, like,
for you.
disappointing.
Do you think that the church allowed you to procrastinate in order for you to be who you really believe you are?
Man, the church is a system of phonies. It's really fugazi.
Did that rub off on you?
Oh, yeah, it does, because you're in that culture. Like for me personally, I'm a pastor's son.
Hey,
so
you phony. You phony.
Call me when they call me, whatever. Call me when they call me. I'm being honest, being real.
Yo, stop being phony, man. Get delivered. Get delivered. Yo.
I'm delivered. As a matter of no lie. I ain't gonna name drop. No lie. Like my wife. I was on the phone with my wife coming out of the store the other day, and I seen somebody that we're acquainted with, and like, yo, I gave church jargon, you know what I'm saying? Because when you're in church, you know how to talk to people that you may not rock with in a normal situation, but you know how to like be cordial. So you ask them cordial questions like yo, how the family? It's like that. And my wife on the phone like, why you be forgave? You know, good and well. So how you feel about the situation? Like, no, I told her, like, yo, and I don't like the person. I don't like the word person. How that person operate, what they do. But like, as far as the church, we're trained to be fake.
You know what? It's a story. I'm sorry to cut you off. It's a story that would allow me to go a little bit more on what you're talking about, like being fake, and this allowed me not to be fake anymore. So this was several years ago, maybe like, I don't know, 8-9 years ago. I was playing at the service, right? And this pastor, it was a guest speaker. He came in. When I say he sucked, I wish I knew his name, but I'll say his name too, because he really sucked. Horrible preacher, right? But I was, again, grew up in the church. I know the church semantics. I know the church language. So, to be cordial, to be nice, you go, since I'm a musician, I talk to the pastors and stuff. So I say, yo, I really, enjoyed the, what you call it? I really enjoyed your sermon.
Your sermon?
Like, I know.
Whoa!
Exactly. And
he was horrible.
And like,
it kept walking off.
I kid you not, yo. After that, I said I would never ever in my whole entire life lie in church like that ever.
Yo,
my question is right there, though, Keys.
You fed that ego.
You lied, what were you looking for? What did what your lie to get you?
Not necessarily acceptance, but to be one of, because that's where I came from. So it was literally just being nice. Like I was just being a nice person, saying the nice thing to say. But yeah, in spite of me lying, in spite of me being nice, I lied, and I paid for it because the person said, "I know." Yo, and walked off.
Didn't you want to say psych? Didn't you want to say I was lying?
Oh my goodness! Yo, I was too shocked to say anything because I was not expecting him to say, "I know."
But can you think somebody that bad would be humble? Like somebody that bad would have like be self-aware that I'm not that good. But for them to be like totally unaware of that they're not that good, and then you give them you really like, it's almost like somebody have an ugly baby, and like you bring the baby around, he's like, yo man, how you think my baby? Like, yo man, that clothes look nice, man. That's a nice outfit.
But that's one thing in church though that can really annoy me though, like, is the arrogance of a person operating in their gift. Like,
it wasn't
arrogance, huh? Like, like, and I'm talking about, because a lot of people, they're very good with their words. It's the word play. And a lot of people word play is so crazy where we'll be like, yo, that's God. You know what I mean? Because
not his. He just testified. He said a scripture and just testified. And
screamed. And scream. Mm-hmm. But you know what? It's the same thing though, right? How you fed him and he left more arrogant.
100%.
But my thing is, how many people have we fed, even in church right now, like in the world right now, like we have fed people And like we've made people read their own headlines based upon things we say about them. And like they're beyond this thing, and they're operating in complete arrogance, posing as if this is from God, or it's I'm anointed and this is so profound. And really all it is flesh, and it's almost like someone making love to their own intellect and getting off from it, pleasing themselves with the amens, pleasing themselves with the congratulations, pleasing themselves with the responses. There are some people addicted when they go to church, and this going to sound crazy, but I've been in church, I've seen how people operate, and if they got people in the line and the people fall out in the line, like that feeds them. Like they're like, look what I've done, look what I'm doing, look how I'm operating. Why do you think people set these high? Why do you think these people set like high honorariums? Like I know people may fight against this. Like I charge you $50,000, $70,000 to come preach, right? Because we fed their ego with the amen that put them on that level to feel that way, to charge us that way, because we allow them to create a supply and a demand. We put, you know what I mean? We created that for them. And now a lot of times we pay for it in the end. And we wind up making these people God more than God himself.
Well, to be honest,
can there be like can someone actually be good, you know, start seeing themselves rise up in, you know, economic growth and status and all that stuff, but can there still be procrastination in that, in all of their getting popular and getting fame and doing all that stuff? Could there be procrastination in that, in the upward way?
Yeah, because they can raise their family up, right? They can like be popular amongst the church and amongst Facebook and amongst Instagram, but they're losing their wives. They're not speaking into their children. Like someone is lacking somewhere else. Like they're a failure at home, but a success on Facebook. You know what I mean? They're a failure in their own family, but other people in other places,
allowing their blessing to actually procrastinate them and doing other things that could be important and vital in their life.
Yeah,
everything. The Bible says an unjust balance is abomination, which means like and thinking about balance, when you don't address things you need to address. Like sometimes God tell you like, hey, stop preaching everywhere, go home. The minute you put off going home, you're procrastinating your obedience to what God said. God told you don't take no more engagement for December. Like chill the whole month, don't take the house of engagement for the whole month of December. You need to be home with your family, and you need to like revamp yourself. Get away from the crowd. Reclude yourself, like so you can take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Not be deceived with the illusion of success. That just because like I'm on everybody's platform, or I'm getting all the economic blessings. Like like I'm good. Nah, man, because procrastination don't just affect one area of life. It affects every area of life. So you put off family vacations, you procrastinate. If you put off spending time with your kids, you procrastinate. If you put off like taking sabbaticals, I think every pastor should take a sabbatical of some sort throughout the course of a year, you're procrastinating. So with that being said, like it goes far deeper than that, man.
Family is the first ministry. It's the first ministry, man. Beyond, it's the first ministry. And a lot of people, you know what I mean, they become married to their ministry and wind up rejecting their own spouses, rejecting their own family. You know what I mean? Like sons and daughters never really get a chance to spend time, you know, with their father or with their mother because they're so busy in ministry. You know what I mean? We say, oh, for God I live and for God I die. And that's why a lot of times the children wind up growing up out of church, rather growing up and staying within the course because they done felt rejection or they done felt neglected throughout time. So I think, in like you said, in everything, we have to find that balance. And in that balance, we got to make sure we're not procrastinating on either side of it. You know what I mean? Or you feel guilty. If I'm on vacation with my wife and my family, that does not mean I'm procrastinating against my ministry. Or if I'm in ministry and I'm doing an assignment, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that I'm procrastinating against my family. But when there is a need that requires you and you avoid it or ignore it and keep putting it off and keep putting it off, that is what turns into the procrastination. If our wives say, babe, we need to talk. 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 Okay. That's procrastination. If you have a member in your church, Pastor, you think you can make time for me? I know you're busy, but I'm really going through this. You might can't do it right then, but that should be something that's on your list to do. Or if someone that you feel that you can send them to someone else that's qualified on that level. But the thing is to constantly war against any level of procrastination that is in our life. That's going to kill life. That's going to kill my ministry. That's going to kill my family, not physically, but spiritually, separation. You know what I mean? Anything that's going to kill our finances. If we ignore things, bills that got to be paid. Come on, it's killing life. Because guess what? It's killing the smile in the home. It's killing the happiness in the home. If we're constantly worried about every bill, and if we're constantly worried about everything that's going on because things ain't functioning right, yo, man, that's the worst thing. Even the intimacy in a marriage. If we're procrastinating on things and things get misscrewed and delayed, and now we're in the hole all around, it even messes up the intimacy moments. Come on. If the bank account is okay and we know we can go here when we want to go here or do that when we want to do that, it makes the intimacy all that much more better than worrying about the press. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
Yeah, man.
Are you saying that because you're saying that women are attracted to
Here you go. No.
There you go. You open the door.
I'm saying, yo, Keith, I'm not saying just them. I'm saying
I'm bugging.
You too. You
ain't stressed. You're not stressed. You're not stressed, man. Like, if you're better,
after having sex or whatever like that, whatever you want to call it, man, and then you broke. You can't even go get nothing to eat. You can't do nothing.
Listen, I ain't gonna hold you. I've been broke before, and I still got horny.
No. And guess what? Guess what, though, Keys? You'll be broke, and then if you broke, and that's all you got, then you'll just be doing that, and you still procrastinating because you'll never do nothing else. Like, to make something happen, you'll just be doing that.
No.
That's why you got dudes right here ain't got no jobs. They just out here laying pipe for room and board, like Ray Charles. You know what I mean? No, I'm just saying. I'm speaking. Procrastination, bro, lives anywhere it can live, bro.
My goodness.
Anything that it can do to keep you
like Ray
stuck.
Charles.
Yo, you remember when he was like, yo, he told my man, he was like, yo, you can lay the pipe now. You remember that in Ray Charles movie?
Yeah.
Because you know what? He was tired. He was tired of being in that situation. I'm about to hit the road, Jack. I'm about to move up out of this situation and do something with my life. But there are people right now. You got some woman that got some man that's laid up with right now. He don't work. He don't do nothing. And the only thing that he doing is laying pipe. Like that. That's what he doing. That's why he in the house. He ain't watching no dick. He ain't doing nothing else. He ain't going to work. He ain't doing nothing. Every other area of his life is procrastination. The only thing he's faithful in is laying pipe. And I'm just saying, in different scenarios of the world, there are different scenarios of that same situation. Like we'll be stuck in that one thing, and we'll ignore every other thing that need to be done.
Fact.
Every other thing. So it's almost like if me living in a false identity is making me win, I'd rather stay in the false identity to be the real me, because I'm so used to the real me failing. I never won with the real me.
Yeah, you're not attracted to the real you.
You're not you know what I mean? So we never become who we really were meant to be. We're just operating with all these different masks and all these different things on and functioning. But yet
I was gonna say one last thing. What were you saying? It's to piggyback off what you said. Shouldn't be saying this, but artist I'm working with has a song called Lipstick Jesus. And basically that's what he's talking about. How people make up themselves so it's easier to procrastinate, because nobody can tell you that you are, and you can keep lying to yourself because you've been doing it for a very long time, you know what I'm saying, and you're good at it. And then nobody else can basically tell you what you're doing wrong, because you're not telling them, because you have on makeup, you have on lipstick to make yourself look pretty, to make yourself look a certain type of way.
And not only that, some people create their own version of Jesus.
That lipstick Jesus, that's basically what it is.
Man. They like the Jesus that I'm going to serve, I'm going to create him to make him fit and be okay with the way I live my life.
And
that's
and that's manipulation, man. And to be honest, bro.
No. That's the church we live in now, though. That's the world we live in now. That's the church we're in now.
That's the system that you're talking about.
We're in now. We create our own version of Jesus, and it's whatever my flaw is, with my Jesus, it's okay. He loves that part of me. He loves the part of me that everyone else would reject. So like it makes it okay. So it's just me and my Jesus. And you know what I mean? And like that's the world we live in. So like now people preach, and there are a lot of leaders who know we live in a society of itchy ears. And long as I have a word that scratches it, I know my house will be packed. But if I preach anything against your flaw, if I preach anything that goes against what you feel as though that you want to be a part of your life, that's when it's a problem. And a lot of people who are that way are people who grew up in church, been rejected in church, live a certain way, and don't want to allow the principles of that they call the Bible, because that shines a light on the ugliness that they're trying to portray as okay.
Or they could have been an awesome individual who had awesome intentions on being an amazing preacher, but then that money got real good.
Motives. Now we're dealing with when the motives change.
Yeah.
And motives be changing constantly.
Yo,
don't let somebody like somebody post on Facebook, or somebody say one little prophetic word that come to pass. Now they holding up money lines now. You know what I mean? Like
Cash App.
Cash apps and everything.
But to right now, truth is a very lonely place, man. Everybody don't like it. Everybody don't like truth. Even though
especially the tortured in there, bro. You better not tell the truth now.
Now what was truthful 20 years ago is now censored now. Because guess what? Like, yo, truth don't change. Truth is truth. Now, how you want to interpret stuff, do all you want to. That can be constructed by culture. But truth in itself. Like, yo, it's a very lonely place. It's not very profitable. You're not gonna make too much money, living in like truth. Like, yo, some people like even in the truth of who you are as a person, like how God created you, how God meant you to be. Like a lot of people around you, like your circle get real small when you become true to yourself. Get real small because everybody can't handle like the truth of who you are.
You're
Except
right.
for your wife, or maybe some, and not all your family members get to it. Probably on your wife can handle the truth of who you are, and still wake up in the morning and say, I love you.
Well, we do truly thank everybody for tuning in. We're definitely on this relentless killer, serial killer. We're going to do one more part to this. Some other things that I really want to bring into this. I kind of wanted to stay within this time frame today. There's so many different avenues of procrastination. There's some other stories that I even want to bring into about procrastination in my own journey. You know what I mean? Being very transparent. So we'll be doing that in like the next episode, the part 2 of this. But today I wrote something down, and I want to read this. I'm gonna have Pastor Boone have some last words and DA to leave us with some last words. But this is something that I wrote, and this is personal. This is for me. It says, I will see my purpose with clarity that God intends me to see it with. And it's like a prayer, like, God, please restore my life to its full potential so that I will no longer be stuck in the jungle of my mind. I believe you will reveal to me exactly what it is in store for me and my family. Lord, please forgive me for every moment of procrastination in my life. Lord, heal me of every hurt in my heart that is keeping me from moving forward to my true purpose in you. I don't know what anyone else's prayer might be. I don't know what procrastination has done for you, what areas, but it's something that we all have to personally work out, but we can corporately work it out in a personal way. That's why we came here live on Facebook tonight and on YouTube. You can catch this on YouTube and on Facebook because we are on a war. We're in a war against procrastination. It relentlessly wants to kill us. So we must relentlessly want to kill it. So choose today how you're going to live the rest of your life. And I pray that procrastination will not be the portion of your life, but that victory, perseverance, consistency, and steadfastness will constantly keep you pushing toward the authority that you have and the power you have in this earth realm to do what you need to do for you and everything connected to you. I'm Elder J. Miller, aka Mr. Miller, Pastor Boone, DA. Y'all gonna close it out tonight with last words, man. Just let's drop a nugget on the people.
What you said was good, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, write that prayer down. Write that prayer down.
Yeah, that was kind of awesome. We can end it like that, bro.
Man. You do a whole sign off. I just put my hood on. Like, yo, to be honest, Joe, man, the only thing I can really say is don't let procrastination rob you of your greatest gift, which is now. Like, that's the only thing you got guaranteed is the breath you take right now. So you got to do now, because if you don't do now, you rob from your future. That's what it kills. It kills your future. Like, procrastinating rob you of it now, but kills your future. So like, you gotta make sure. Like, I'm heavily guilty of it. My wife could be online right now. She'll tell you that's the only thing she hates about me is procrastination. Everything else you cool with. It's like, yo, that just if you can stop putting stuff off, I'm good. Because when you put stuff off, you put your family at risk. You put your wife at risk. You put your children at risk. You put your money at risk. So make sure, like, yo, you activate with the urgency of now. The Bible says now faith. Not tomorrow faith, not yesterday faith, but now faith. You have that faith now to move and go do and make operations. So that's all I need to say to you guys.
We salute all of y'all out there. Stay blessed. Stay strong. Catch us next time here on Dirty Church Radio, Unrestricted Conversations. Bless all you brothers, man. But